Hey guys, how's it going? Talks Too Much with Third Party Studios. We are getting started here. We have a lot of news to get into today. It has been an insanely busy couple of weeks, and we are just going to try to hammer out as much of it as we can. In the studio with us, we have a guest today. We have Jake. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Hello.
Really appreciate. You don't have to wave. You don't have to. I can see you just fine. No, but really,
all right.
really appreciate you being here, bud. Thanks for coming in and joining. It's going to be a ton of fun. With me, as always, we have in one corner, the Cody.
Why does the guest get top billing?
Just so he doesn't feel...
I think I'm more important.
It's like just whatever we don't want him to write a letter to Make-A-Wish, all right? Like, this is just... Let's just get through it.
I want a refund on my Make-A-Wish.
Hey, it's King Quiz over here. All right?
King Quiz. All right.
I went to go see John Cena, and he wasn't there.
I want to see John Cena.
You can't see me.
So we have the Cody. He's very silly. He's a very funny guy.
Here today.
And then in the other corner, repping the red, the
Again.
sweater, the jumper, it is the Slim.
I changed it before I came here.
Yeah, just
To put
exclusive.
it on.
I like that it's like a uniform.
Yeah, he's got a uniform for audio-only podcast.
It's called commitment.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it. You know me.
I don't know what that means.
What's commitment? I don't know what those words are. But just a really brief introduction to Quizlin. He's been a friend of the channel for a while. He was on the drunk stream when we were doing what were we playing?
We were playing Bioshock.
BioShock. We were finishing up
was
the
rough.
BioShock, and Quiz hung out with us then. So that was a fun stream.
I should listen back to that. I haven't.
It was funny. I listened back. It was pretty funny.
I will tell you that the quality is so bad,
It's
but
really bad.
It's very funny. I enjoy.
Planks trolled the shit out of
It was
us.
like jumping all over. We get a phone call from you because you went outside to check it. It still kind of sounds terrible when you hear you through the phone.
We were doing audio adjustments in the middle of the freaking
Yeah.
stream.
And it was like the middle of it.
We were 20 minutes in, like a half hour in, and we're still...
Yeah,
and that's when I
funny.
showed up. And then we started adjusting the audio. I was listening to it on my way back because I was late for that stream.
Oh, that's
and
right.
so I was...
You brought pizza.
I basically played a case race with myself, so I don't remember a whole lot.
with myself.
the apple pie.
I don't remember a whole lot, dude.
Well, this week we've got... Blue Beetle's been out for a couple of weeks now. Quiz was telling me he actually enjoyed Blue Beetle. You saw this in theaters?
Yeah, and I'm wondering why you have the skepticism in your voice.
Yeah.
It was a
He-
good
Oh, it's
movie.
completely unfounded. You're right. I have no reason to doubt a Warner Brothers movie's quality.
Every movie sucks these days.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. Let's just rely on the facts. 6.7 out of 10.
To There Will Be Blood.
What did you?
What's that?
I really don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So estimated budget on Blue Beetle. So first off, Blue Beetle for people who don't know, Blue Beetle is the story of
Jaime
Reyes. Jaime Reyes, who finds this ancient artifact, the scarab, attaches itself to him, and he gains superpowers from this alien device. And then he's also super Mexican. So that's a thing.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So Jaime Reyes' character of Blue Beetle is actually a good one. Quiz, I guess what
Have you
was your
seen the
impression
movie?
of the film? Did you enjoyed it? It sounds like you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the fact that they didn't just do the typical DC universe thing where it's all dark and serious. They brought in a lot of humor.
They went Marvel with it.
Hey,
That's why you like
They had George Lopez in there. Like
George.
Yeah, he's known for comedy.
he is a comedian.
I'm rolling my eyes. He's not funny. Not funny.
Fine.
Not funny. No.
Oh.
Yeah, he can definitely tell Mexican jokes like no white person can.
Did you ever watch the George Lopez show back in the day?
I tried.
Yeah, I did.
I was
That
like,
was
it is
one
on
of my
par
favorites.
with typical Tim Allen like sitcoms and stuff
Another
like that. It
good
wasn't.
one.
How dare you?
It was
How-
good. I liked it.
Tim Allen sitcoms are good.
No offense.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said
they are.
it was on par with those. This is it's
Oh,
like
so you're
just
saying it's good.
it was good. It was
Yeah,
fine.
It was great.
There was other shows that were much better, but
Although, yeah, it's like
Which
I was
ones?
12 years old watching sitcoms.
well,
so
if I'm looking at sitcoms and I'm comparing, oh man, I can't even like. We just said it. What the Lopez Show? That's just what it's called.
I think
Yeah.
it's just called Lopez Show.
I would compare the Lopez Show to shows like How I Met Your Mother. Shows I enjoyed more were like Home Improvement. Everybody loved Raymond. I like those shows quite a bit. I mean, the list of sitcoms out there in the universe is so long, and I don't think Lopez Show is anywhere near the top of that list.
Agreed.
I'd have to go back and watch it again.
I just like how we
Would
were
you?
It wouldn't
we
be
were
worth it, though.
teenagers
No.
back then, and Jimmy just named like the most adult like TV show.
I just said I'd have to, not that
I
I want to.
Well, I enjoyed Everybody Loved Raymond, Home Improvement. I enjoyed some of those shows.
Oh, God, everyone.
Home
loves
Improvement was an adult, but
King of Queens kind of guy.
oh yeah.
Oh, I did not care for King of Queens. I get why that was popular, but that really, I mean, Quiz just said adults, like older people sitcoms. That was definitely an older person sitcom. You need to be a blue
I
collar
had
working
old
Joe to
person
appreciate.
taste even as like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I want to
like-
do my taxes.
They bring up Sesame Street. I'm
That
like,
sounded
this is
just like the
trash.
Cody.
This is what the Cody sounds like when he was 5. I want to do my taxes. I'm Ginger.
I wouldn't say I want to do my taxes.
That's so wizard, Annie.
That's too responsible.
That's so wizard, Annie.
That's all he could say.
That was one of the most iconic lines
I was
in all
more
of
like-
Star Wars, though. That's so wizard. You know that line
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
from Phantom Menace when he's showing off his pod
oh yeah,
for pod racing?
I
They
just
actually
rewatched.
say that?
He's like,
Yeah.
"That's so wizard, Annie."
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the
Robot
little
Chicken
kids-
goes off a tangent on this. It's hugely iconic line. It's so
the little kid says it.
yeah. It's one of the kids says that to Annie. It's like it was hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so
I
weird.
just watched the first one not that long ago.
I'm gonna start using that.
It's so wizard. I'm bringing it back.
That's so awesome. Be like,
Oh,
yo,
dear
that's
Lord.
wizard, dude.
That's so wizard.
dude.
That's so.
Burn him.
I think that.
You a wizard?
So, Quiz, do you
Where would
have
you rank the Blue Beetle among the DC films?
Among the DC films.
Yeah.
It's such a low bar.
Yeah.
Well, there's not as many as Marvel either.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you don't count the Dark Knight series, because that was just
Which I
way
don't.
Yeah, I would say,
separate
like,
and
Man
way
of
better
Steel
than
to
everything
now.
else that DC's put out.
Mhm.
Dog water.
I would say definitely towards the top because of the comedy aspect.
Do you have the same impression of like Black Adam?
Black Adam was another really good one. I'd put that about equal to Blue Beetle just based off the comedy level.
Oh, so shit. All right.
So,
Which one
We'll
do you
agree to
like in the
disagree.
DC universe, Cody?
My favorite one's probably the first one, Man of Steel, to be honest.
Man of
Yeah, that
Steel
one's
stands
good.
apart for me. I think it did the
But
best
if you go
job.
off of the DC universe, then
Too
it's
serious.
the Batman. It's Twilight's
Batman.
The Batman is my favorite.
Twilight's the Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Edward.
That one's badass.
That was awesome.
I
I think
haven't seen that one actually.
Man of Steel-
It just came out at a bad time for me. I don't know.
Man of Steel
COVID?
takes all of the power in the DC universe, like all of the Kryptonians and how strong they are, and it does a great job of scaling them to how dangerous, how powerful they actually are. I thought that did a great job of scaling and setting up that universe for how things should interact with
It
them.
set up Henry Cavill's Superman, which
Mm-hmm.
should have gotten a lot more love than it actually did.
Exactly.
More movies too.
Because it was too serious.
What do you think DC is supposed to be? Because it sounds like you're wanting DC to emulate Marvel, but you're missing out on the fact
also
DC
wanted to
is
emulate Marvel
yeah,
at the time,
but you're missing the fact that DC is a darker universe organically. So
Yeah,
you're just saying
true.
don't be what you are.
Well, no, he said it's nice to see a movie that breaks out of that shell.
It is, but Marvel's almost exclusively done that.
Yeah.
Almost exclusively done that.
And they have the box office dollars to prove it.
Oh,
up until
buddy.
2019.
Oh, buddy.
Okay, yeah.
Ever
but
since
Oh,
then,
oh,
people are getting a little like, all right, we've seen this.
They're done with it.
before, but
like this is dumb.
I haven't seen one since Endgame. I haven't seen a single Marvel movie.
Well,
Well, Spider-Man I went to see.
It's Spider-Man. Because
I
that
hope so.
okay.
Because that's different in my
Mhm.
mind.
That made a
It's
bill.
not, but it
that
is.
was also 19. I think that was at the end of 19.
That was
wasn't
really
it?
good.
It was
Really
I think
good.
Endgame was 19, and then it was 2020. Because wasn't it the first movie to break the mold in COVID? Wasn't it?
Oh
think
yeah,
that was
yeah,
Black
we're,
Widow.
We're like
Black Widow
bidding.
didn't really. Black Widow was a flop.
Black
I
Widow went
didn't
straight to
even-
streaming.
it
There
went
was a
straight
huge
to
lawsuit
streaming
over it.
because
Oh,
I
that's
remember
right.
because
Yep.
Scarlett Johansson
Was
sued
pissed.
Disney because she didn't get any of the box office
I'm
money.
always
because it
on
went
her
straight
side.
to-
Whatever
She
she,
can tell me the
said.
sky is red.
She
and I'll be
can-
like, you got it, girl.
You got a girl
Uh,
power.
Spider-Man: No Way Home was 2021. So just
Was
for
it?
That's
I like
what.
how COVID fucked up all of our timelines.
Yeah.
Well, yours.
There was nothing that happened before
I'm
it.
good over here.
And Endgame was 2019, so I was correct. Usually. Um,
No, I got like you reference movies like say a date or whatever, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that movie came out that year or whatever. That's how I.
and then you just fact check me, and I'm just
Yeah.
wrong by like 5 years.
It's like you have to like reference what was going on in the world at the time when the movie came out in order to be like, oh yeah, that's
yeah,
when
that's
that came
It's
right.
like,
out.
have
Yeah.
you seen The Patriot? That came out in like 2013 or whatever.
The
It's like,
the guy who plays Blue Beetle from
Were you about to say Karate Kid?
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, thank you.
Oh.
Never
But to be
watched.
fair, I mean
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Oh, I
to
just-
be
I didn't
fair.
even make that connection.
But
until you just said
he's
it.
the guy from he's the guy from Cobra Kai. I think that he does an amazing job in Cobra Kai, and I do think he's a great casting choice for this. If you've seen any of the DC animated films with Blue Beetle, or if you've watched Teen Titans where Blue Beetle's relevant, this actor actually makes a lot of sense for it. It seemed like they were really trying. I don't know where we're at in DC right now because you have James Gunn saying he's going to launch
DC
DC's.
doesn't know where DC's at.
Yeah, James Gunn wants to launch DC, but he wants to start with, I think, a Superman movie. Does he want to start Superman Legacy? He wanted to be the
No.
beginning. What did
There's
he
a
want to
new
start with?
Aquaman movie coming out too, though.
But
yeah,
Aqua-
we got,
what is
that? Yeah.
Aquaman's the end of this universe, and then James Gunn's kicking up his. There's one movie before the Superman one. I want to say it's like a rip off of like The Boys or some shit.
Well,
The
not
Boys.
Green Lantern.
No, that's a TV series.
I can't remember.
It's all dog shit anyway.
But my point is that Blue Beetle is not relevant in the next 10 years. This movie won't be relevant, and this actor probably won't keep the course with Blue Beetle in James Gunn's movies.
It's a standalone movie that's gonna go nowhere.
Exactly, it's not attached to anything else.
That's most of the DC universe.
Yeah,
is
'cause they don't
standalone
know where
movies
they're
because they
going.
don't know how to tie everything together.
Yeah, which is, if you listen to this podcast, you'll know
Let's
that
talk
we
to a bunch of bankers about setting up a cinematic universe. Okay.
yeah. Just, then you got then you have Aquaman, which is destined for failure. In my opinion, Amber Heard is the death nail of that
Yeah.
film. They tried to hide her in the trailer.
They did.
Yeah, and
They didn't show her at all.
yeah, and they're gonna cut a lot of her scenes out, I guess. But her involvement in this movie is
It hasn't been reduced according to James Wan.
I like
It
Juan
was never supposed to be a big part of the movie anyway.
Yep.
She's just out there
being
spewing turds.
just shitting on
she
beds,
does.
Sleeping on beds.
shitting on beds,
That
falsely
was
accusing
not the
people.
dog.
It was
Oh.
always supposed to be a bromance between Jason
Aquaman and
Momoa
the fish.
Patrick, what's his face?
Patrick Stewart, Patrick Starfish, Patrick.
Patrick Stewart.
I don't know. He's
Patrick
in all
Stewart
those
is way too
country
old.
movies
Bald
you like.
Oh, okay.
The bald guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it's about
That's
a
Marvel.
fish man and a bald guy in a wheelchair.
Oh,
That's
Matt-
a movie I can watch.
That's
One
fair.
can talk to fish, one can read other people's minds.
So technically, he could talk to fish.
He can read the minds of
It's a
fish.
sitcom in the making.
Oh
It
my
is.
gosh. You forgot to pay the electric
Nothing.
bill. Wah, wah. But this movie is going to lose money. That's going to happen, just for clarification's
Depends
sake.
on what the budget is.
Well, the
Probably a
estimate,
lot.
the
Well,
estimate,
It's like 120 for the budget. It's gonna make like Flash made to I don't even know. It wasn't even close to their budget.
so
It's supposed to be worse.
Still haven't
than-
gotten a chance to see that one either.
so estimated
I've been
budget is
busy.
120 million, and we know that those numbers are almost
Lies.
always lies.
Always
and then
double it.
and then you have the gross worldwide, which was 5 million shy of hitting the estimated budget, and then you have the marketing budget on top of that. So I mean, you're gonna lose a couple tens of millions on this.
100,000 billion.
You're gonna lose a few tens of millions. If there was any way James Gunn could have brought in any of these films into his universe and just made it work, you might see these movies break even, maybe, because there's some value in watching them. But Blue Beetle is not an iconic DC character. He's not Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. There's no name
like
recognition unless
D-tier?
you're what's that?
He's like D tier.
I'd say yeah, he's like D or E tier. He's like
way down there. I've only heard of him because of Injustice 2,
Yeah.
the game.
the Blue Beetle.
Yeah, same here.
You get like a Blue Beetle movie before you get like a true Robin movie, or you get a
Why isn't Robin more prevalent in fucking DC movies?
Because there's so many of them, and they don't want to pick one.
Pick one.
Well, they don't want to.
Dick.
I love Dick.
We know.
Dick Grayson is the best superhero in the DC universe.
Yeah, you
Double
lost that
entendre.
vote though, so I mean,
I don't.
Dizzy.
It was a 4-way tie.
Oh, that's right, it was. You still could technically win.
4-way tie of what? 4 votes?
8
Eight.
votes. It was 2 apiece. I'm pretty sure.
I
Um,
remember.
didn't
Oh
win.
yeah.
but Blue Beetle. It's
I
gonna
want
be.
some-
It's gonna be in theaters a little while longer, so we'll see. Maybe it could
It's
cross the
gonna
threshold
lose,
of
It's gonna lose money.
It's gonna lose money for sure, but maybe it'll hit one milestone of at least breaking over its estimated budget. $5 million is totally possible to get over its estimated budget.
5.
Well, that's all they're short. So the estimated budget is
No, they've reached
120.
over 5. Are you talking 500?
$5 million. Their estimated budget is 120 million. Their current gross worldwide is 115 million. If they make 5 million, they will hit their
500.
milestone. No, why are you saying it's 5 million? 5 million.
It's reached. It's gone. They've reached over 5 million. You know how easy that is?
No,
I could
5
put a-
million more, Cody.
That's all I'm saying.
They're at 115. They got to get up to that 120.
Yes, that's all
I
I'm
know
saying.
math was hard for you,
Are you
back
okay?
in the day, but
No.
Why are you gay?
I've only gotten like 3 hours of sleep.
Okay, that's
Were
fine.
you-
this is
Were you
fair.
playing
Yeah,
Starfield
I had to
last
wake his
night?
ass up when I
No.
got here.
Then I don't got
Mortal
talk to you anymore.
Kombat.
I don't need to talk to you anymore.
Cody, you wanted to talk about something. You were about to.
Well, I was to switch over topics from DC because I don't give a fuck about DC, and I really
Me
don't
neither.
care about this next topic either.
Sure.
But
Well, here we go.
Taylor cares about it. Have you watched Ahsoka?
No, I haven't. I like to binge it all straight. So,
Yeah.
what is there, 5 or 6 episodes out?
There it looks like there's currently
6.
6. No, there are currently 5. 6 is coming out on Tuesday.
You know, I've heard good things,
How many
and
are
I've
gonna
watched
be in
all
the
the
season?
animated stuff, all the movies and all that. So,
Yeah, you
if-
know it's
I'll know all the lore and all the little references they make and all that stuff. So,
because it's basically
I'm
for
excited.
people that have watched Clone Wars and Rebels.
oh yeah, see, I've seen
If
all
you
that
haven't
stuff.
watched that, you're
Oh, yeah.
fucking lost.
I've seen it all that stuff. So,
I'm
I've heard good things though, honestly.
my impressions are mixed because I'm hearing people say that it's not as bad as people want, but the bar is so damn low for this. No one is really expecting this to be the next thing. I would expect this to probably perform as well as Andor. To the degree that did well, I guess we're probably going to hit that milestone. But,
yeah, but everyone that watched Andor loved Andor.
I hated it.
there you go.
Except for Taylor.
I didn't
Except
like
for
it.
one guy named Slim.
I got a couple episodes in. I was like, this sucks. I turned it off.
I did watch. I followed some clips. I followed some reviews of this, and one thing that really bugs me with this show is the fight scenes are so damn slow.
Oh, yeah, I heard they're not great.
I heard the dialogue slow.
Everything is slow. The actress is
Like,
slow.
I'll say a sentence,
Yeah.
and then you wait 3 seconds, and then respond to me. How's it going today, Jimmy?
I'm depressed because my master killed younglings.
She doesn't know that, technically.
Should have killed more. It's so slow.
Here's a baby Yoda.
Here's a 50-year-old.
We're just
baby
trying to
Yoda.
pause 3 seconds at a time between the rest of the podcast.
It's so awkward.
It's going to be a
could take a
2-hour
while.
podcast. And we don't even know I got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I like the actress cast for Ahsoka. I don't actually have a problem with her specifically. I don't care about Ahsoka as an adult. She's just so damn like edgy. She's super edgelord, and everything's dark and depressing. And she's like not a Jedi, but is a Jedi.
Well, everyone in the order died.
Yeah, get
Are
over
you
it.
sure about that?
Doesn't
The
this?
further and further we get from
The
Revenge
less
of the
and less
Sith,
are
the
dead.
more and more Jedi keep showing up.
Yeah,
It's
Yoda's death. When I die, you'll be the last.
You'll be the
Jedi.
last. You sure about that?
Then just pop up. Another one.
Yeah.
Another
It's
one?
like, yeah,
Another
you
one?
hear about
Another
that
one?
that bitch
Another
over there doing this?
He's
And-
alive, too.
I'm pretty sure Yoda was usually right about stuff too. He didn't tend to be wrong.
Yeah.
No, he's a 900-year-old crazy green alien that didn't know shit.
With a very weird sense of humor.
Cooking shit in a swamp. Why would you listen to that guy?
What do we want from Ahsoka? I
I don't want anything.
I don't want anything from this character either. I
I
didn't
want Disney to sell off Star Wars.
give it to
Yeah.
honestly just
No one right now.
The only thing that they should have done is they should have had some badass lightsaber scenes. Yeah, I don't know.
From
If they
what
don't
I
have
heard-
that, then they failed.
I
From what
wonder
I
why
heard,
it's
the
so hard to
latest-
produce that.
From what I heard, the latest episode where they got a dream sequence with Hayden Christensen's Anakin,
Yep.
Mhm.
which is always appreciated. I like Hayden Christensen.
So do I.
He's
But everyone's like, it's the best thing Star Wars put out, like, period, is that scene. Everyone's, like, raving about it.
tap X to doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am gonna doubt
unlikely.
that too.
I
You know what?
watch it,
You know what I want out of Star Wars? I want them to remake KOTOR and stop. I think they could stop with everything after that.
I've been pondering this question since
KOTOR
it came
and
up
then
in
the
a
Old
previous.
Republic,
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
I've
That's
been,
my favorite.
I've been
area.
thinking about that question since it came up in a previous podcast episode. What I want for Star Wars
Don't think.
is for Disney to drop Star Wars and let it go public domain.
Actually, I changed my answer. You know what I really want?
They'll never.
What
happen.
do you really
Or
want?
an origin story for Revan. That would be fucking cool.
The OG, and just follow him.
Yeah.
It's basically another Anakin. Watch him follow the dark side
yeah,
and then
that'd
come
be,
back to the light.
That'd be sweet.
Except for, he doesn't end up as a robot.
Mm.
Yeah.
He
that'd
keeps
be
all
cool.
of his
That'd be
limbs.
cool.
Does he keep all of his limbs?
And then his
Yeah.
his best
And his
bro
voice.
becomes Sith Lord.
And he chops his face in
Right.
half.
Then he's got to fuck him up. So, yeah, it could be a cool story.
It'd be sweet.
If Star Wars, so what I was saying was with public domain is if Star Wars went public domain, you have just everything carte blanche, just opens up back to the fandom to completely create anything they want. Think about the best Star Wars content that's come out since Disney bought it. In my opinion, it was the Darth Maul and the Darth Vader YouTube video
The
shorts.
Imagine Darth Vader Obi-Wan fight.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Well, then you had the what was the Darth Maul.
words.
The Darth Maul introduction where they had like 4 random Jedi Knights run into Darth Maul.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but it was like Darth Maul was still in training. This is before Episode 1. It takes place
Yeah.
on some planet, and then 4 Jedi come in and a Padawan, which she ends up like leaving her alive for some reason. But
Yep. Because he's not totally irredeemably dark.
But yeah, and they fucks up 4 Jedi, and it's actually really well shot and choreographed and everything.
If the fandom was allowed to do things with the Star Wars canon and Star Wars universe, it would repair the entire thing
Well, that's how it was.
over
That's
time.
how you got all the fucking books.
Star Wars would repair itself organically over time if the fandom was allowed to be involved in the process in any degree. And that's why I think public domain would be the best thing for it.
Never gonna happen.
I mean, it's
you
a
don't
wishful
make
thinking.
money off of public domain.
Yeah, exactly. So
Well,
it's not gonna happen.
that's not necessarily true. I mean,
No, the corporation doesn't make money off of
Yeah,
public
Disney
domain.
wouldn't make shit.
well, Disney bought Star Wars. They bought a lot of other things so that they could make money off like action figures, toys, all the merchandise. Merchandise was a place where you could make good money.
Yeah.
If Star Wars was popular again, Disney could make money off of toys, action figures, etc., etc.
Maybe that's why they put on a shitload of shitty shows.
Say that 3 times fast.
Shitload of shitty shows.
I said,
I'm not gonna do it 3 times.
okay.
Aww.
But
Fail.
yeah, just to get like the action figures and shit out there. Like you got Mando, you got Boba, you got
Baby Yoda.
young old Obi-Wan,
Well, I mean, even if you open it,
Ahsoka.
so imagine being Disney.
No one's buying Andor toys. It's too generic. I
Right.
guess.
Yeah, it's because it sucks.
Imagine being Disney, having Star Wars, releasing the IP open so that independent creators can run with it and start making some stuff, finding these hidden talent out there in the internet, out there in the universe who are making great stuff, and then bringing them in to actually work on great projects, create merchandise, create more stories, do great things with it. And if it's allowed to be, so because that's what you say that can't happen, and you're not wrong. I understand this is wishful thinking, but it is what George Lucas did. George Lucas was incredibly generous with the fandom. So much so that the books became canon. Like his interview with Jon Stewart actually had a canonical moment in it when they invented Obi-Wan Kenobi's home planet in the middle of an interview with Jon Stewart.
No, he didn't. No, what was it?
Obi-Wan Kenobi's home planet is Stewjon. Planet Stewjon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Jon
Oh, yeah,
Stewart.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He invented that in real time just by virtue of having an interview with Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I remember that
And
video.
this is how friendly George Lucas was to the fandom. He was just open to stuff like that. Disney could do that. Now,
I would
never
hide
will.
from where I am too. Then
I would love. That's what I want from Disney is to see the fandom be given the wheel again. That's what I want. But you're right. I'm not ignorant enough to think that that's gonna happen.
Especially out of Disney.
But it's clear to know what you want. You know,
Yeah. That's healthy.
it's
Sure.
good. It's good to
Whatever you got to work
have
through in
wishes
your
and
life.
I
dreams.
know what I want.
Okay,
So-
tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Do you have anything else on Ahsoka? Because I want to talk about the live action One Piece.
Oh,
I've heard.
might as well
not great
transition into this.
So a lot of
Transition
the
pending.
so
Transition pending.
Quiz,
We
are
won't
you
edit it in.
familiar with One Piece as a thing? Do you know of its existence?
No.
Okay, I'll give you a very brief breakdown. About 26 years ago, and I might be way off on my timeline, but it's 20 plus years ago. There was a manga, a Japanese comic written called One Piece that is still running with more issues and more show and more everything today. They've come out with a couple of movies, I believe, and Netflix has the rights to make the live action version of that anime.
There's like 1,071 episodes of this show.
And it's still running.
Okay.
Now, the history of live actions when it comes to anime, the genre, have all been flops.
All been
with
great.
a couple of exceptions. And honestly, they're not
What are
even...
the exceptions?
Death Note was objectively
Dirt.
successful.
Next.
It
What
was
else you got?
I said a couple.
I like
I
that
gave
movie.
you one. I'm not obligated to recite them. The one. But One Piece is being hailed. It just came out this last month. It's being hailed as a success. And a lot of the reviews on it are trending positive. The most loyal fans of the show, of One Piece and the manga, who have been, reading and watching it for 25 years, have some issues with the introduction of a specific character who came in way too early. But otherwise, the show
Who's
is...
that? I
there's
haven't heard anything about that.
there's a so in this in the canon there's the Marines, which are just the naval police force of the world. One of the, I think he's a captain or a colonel. He's a really prominent official in the Marines. He was introduced like 500 issues into the manga, but they actually dropped him in like the introduction of the world in the live action.
Is it a smoke dude?
No, he's if you've only made it through
Sorry, I'm only like 370 episodes into the anime, so
Only.
I believe the character's name is Garp. But I actually don't know. I actually don't know. I actually don't know enough about his character because I didn't get that far into the anime. But I'm sure if Mithras were here, he'd break it down and tell us all about it.
he's probably losing his mind right now.
Yeah.
He can sense it, even though this isn't published yet.
All-
Dumb shit.
False information.
He's breaking his computer.
All I want to say is that I am happy that a live action is actually successful because I want to see more well-made
Well, it's
live
like
actions.
people that have never even heard or watched the anime or read the manga or blah 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 are actually really into the show.
Yeah, because I mean it's
It's like you got the whole like
That's usually how the live actions work, though. If you've seen the original or whatever,
you're critical.
and you're comparing the two, you're never going to like the new one because your heart and soul just belongs to the first version of it, and you'll never see anything else different.
That's
I've
a good.
had a weird,
that's a good point.
I've had a weird experience with like the Harry Potter movies. Watched all the
Oh,
movies
God, they're
first.
remaking that, too.
Watch all the movies first, and then now I'm reading all the books. I'm like a couple chapters into the last book, and it's like
I did the
the
same
books
with.
is so much better.
I did the same with Lord of the Rings. I did the same with Lord of the Rings, and it breaks your heart to see like the Peter Jackson trilogy get broken down so much. But it's
'Cause now I'm retrospectively looking at the movies, and it's like, why the fuck did you do that, or why did you skip this, or insert that?
well, specifically about One Piece.
So it's like always the original material ends up being the most loved, regardless
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Specifically about One Piece, anyone who's given the show an attempt is not necessarily thrown off by its quality. Most people who try One Piece usually really enjoy it. The problem with the show is that it's 25 plus years in the making, and it's an insurmountable task to catch up.
Dude, I've been on this fucking arc of One Piece for like 100 fucking episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to get past it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It sucks so much dick. But everything that came before it was all right.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
The startup of it is actually the introduction of the characters is amazing. Like they do such a great job of introducing these characters. Every character has their own backstory, and they expand on it in the show. The live action apparently
You
it
have
doesn't.
that many episodes. Of course, you can expand on it.
Well, the live
Get a
action.
little bit of character development over 1,000.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Well, apparently the live action is doing a good job of staying truthful. Oda is the creator of One Piece.
It's the
He is
same company that made Cowboy Bebop, the remake.
Cowboy Beat.
Is that a
The live
serious
action?
name?
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
It's a
really?
beloved anime, so you,
It's a space
Oh my-
cowboy adventure.
God, that's the
awesome.
name though.
Yeah.
Really?
It's the name of the ship, I want to say.
That's not even like the
I
great.
don't remember.
There's so if you're thinking about anime names, that's not
want
even
to,
close
but-
to the most crazy one. That's not even close.
I think Sir Butthole is.
But apparently the only issue that Oda, the creator of One Piece, had with this show was the introduction of that character prematurely, because he's supposed to come
He's
in.
got creative control over the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, they've given him a lot of creative control, but
They're
I
like,
think
hey,
he was.
You got to reshoot this scene. I don't like it.
I think-
that's happened multiple times apparently.
But he fought them on this introduction of this character because it completely nerfs the character. So in One Piece, the characters get stronger the further through their journey they go, the more experiences they have.
Anime ever.
And you have this character supposed to be introduced 500 issues into the story, and so the characters would be on par with his level, how strong he is. That's where the character growth would take you. But because they
Do
introduced
they
his
fight him
character
right
at the
away,
beginning,
or do they just introduce him?
what's that?
Do they fight him?
Yeah, there's a fight in there's a fight in this. Yep. But because they introduce him right away and they have the fight with him now, it completely nerfs the character because these characters from One Piece are about as weak as they will be in the show. So at this point in it. So I think the live action, I mean, obviously the ratings on it is an 8.5. There's plenty of ratings on it. Netflix is getting a lot of great praise for it. Some of my favorite reviewers are saying positive things about it, that they were just surprised by it. I don't know how long this goodwill will last. I think we're going to have the same problem in every other medium with One Piece. It's too freaking large. The only thing that this does uniquely is it finally gives the fandom a way to get into One Piece if you've never been a fan of the original show, and your own way of absorbing it and watching it for the first time.
Do you know where the show ends? Like the season 1 ends?
Do I know where season 1 of this show ends? I don't.
I don't, because I haven't watched it either. I know it goes past the water park thing with
Yep.
all the fish people and whatnot.
Yep.
So yeah, it goes through several arcs in one season. So it's interesting to see how they end up pacing 1,000 episode, or 1,000 chapter / episode. thing.
If this
Seasons.
if this show continues, because Netflix has made it clear that they want to do a couple of they want to start focusing on live action specifically. There's Avatar: The Last Airbender, which we've
They're
talked about
Disneying
before.
the fuck out of it. Let's make live actions of all of the
Yep.
childhood cartoons.
Oh gosh.
They
They're
have
running out
One
of
Piece.
ideas is the problem.
Yeah, they have One Piece, but then there's also they want to have Pokemon. They want Pokemon and Avatar to be their flagships. Yep, they want to do a Pokemon live action, which I'm actually, if they do that well, I'm in.
Did you watch Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, I thought that was done pretty
funny.
I thought that was done
I
pretty.
didn't watch it.
I thought it was pretty B or C tier. I don't think it was anything to write home about, but I think as far as live actions go, it was a theater movie. It
Is
was.
because Ryan Reynolds was Pikachu.
I think
nailed it.
that helped, but I don't
Yeah.
think it made the movie
Do
great.
you think they should talk?
The Pokemon?
Yeah.
I think Meowth should talk, and that's it.
Meowth. Just Meowth, yeah.
Just Meowth. The only Meowth. No, I don't think the Pokemon should necessarily talk. I think that makes things worse. I think if you want to have that relationship, it needs to be. You need to focus on a character. You need to focus on a character story if you're gonna do Pokemon, because no, the Pokemon are not supposed to talk, and you're working with CGI monsters and trying to express emotion through your experiences with them. You need to really, really be focused on the characters of whatever story you're going to tell if you're going to do Pokemon live action correctly. That's the only way to do this right.
You see that meme where like Ash is like, Pikachu, get back in the ball or whatever, and then Misty's like, I wonder what goes on in there, and then it switches over to Pikachu's point of view, and it's a bunch of them around like a stripper stage.
I want to go on a Pokeball.
I never want to leave.
Bunch of Pikachu's throwing out ones.
I choose you. No, pick him.
I was just about to finish.
I'll make it rain on these sluts.
So we have barely made a dent in all of the news I wanted to cover today, but we are 35 minutes in.
What other news you got?
I wanted to talk about all the Disney stuff. Disney's had like.
Who cares about Disney anymore, to be honest?
Do you want to move into the War Room? Because we got the Snow White.
No one likes Rachel Zegler.
We got Snow
She's a
White.
cunt.
We have the controversy surrounding Rotten Tomatoes. We have Starfield to talk about. We have the Disney
Starfield's the best
conflict
done.
with the Disney conflict with.
Is it Bethesda's best game? Let's get to start.
Yeah,
Is it?
I think so far.
You like it more than all the Elder Scrolls and the Fallouts?
Better than Fallout 76?
Well, nothing beats that. I like it better than Fallout 4, better than 3. New Vegas is up there.
You know Slim
Isn't
loves
New
it.
Vegas?
I like it better than Skyrim.
New Vegas is an Obsidian game, though.
Oh, so that makes more sense.
Yeah.
You
Now
know that
that makes
Slim.
more sense.
You know Slim loves Starfield when he won't stream it because he
My
genuinely
computer
wants to
is
enjoy it.
already. It's like screaming at me.
There's a
We
bit
need
of
to
puffs
get-
of smoke
We
here
need to
and
get
there.
you a company computer so you
It
could
just,
actually
like,
play and
wants to
stream.
die. I'm like, dude, if I stream this, the thing would explode.
We need to get you a nice computer. That's what we need to
Or,
do.
you know, get a new sex box.
I know, yeah.
Gross.
That's another $600 too.
Oh, they've gone down. It's only 3.
Yeah, but they're gonna ban.
I'll-
They're gonna ban him
give
for
you
hate
the money.
speech.
Yeah,
They're gonna ban
me
him
for hate
from
speech.
Xbox platform
Oh,
for
that's
hate
right.
speech.
You can't talk
If I
into the
yell at
mic,
my
otherwise-
robot, and
Yeah.
say, you're not real, you're an animate object, and then
Banned.
ban me.
You're banned.
All
right.
And then
Yeah, boy.
Oblivion was really good. That's probably its
Never
contender.
really got into Oblivion. That was
It was
before
really
my like real gaming phase.
It was good.
All right. I suppose then we could probably table all the other topics for the next recording we do and talk about Disney then.
We'll do
Maybe
it
there'll be
next
even more news.
week.
Yeah, we'll cover it in the next episode. But we're going to pause the podcast and move into the War Room in 5, 4, 3, 2. No, we do it at the same time. Ready?
We'll do what?
3, 2.
You can't just say we're gonna do it at the same time and not explain what. Okay. you
What?
can-
One.
One.
Diddly-doo, 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 diddly-doo.
Okay, that
Oh,
was
you guys are so gay.
that was shit.
Mr. President, I think they're trying the number.
You filthy bully, you filthy you sell you guy, I'll taste the karate before, hey, you wore my thing for it.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the War Room.
And we are in this episode of the War Room. Thank you guys for coming in. Really appreciate you guys following us over here. This week's episode, we are talking about our favorite scenes, and we've broadened the category to not just be specifically movie, but we're talking about television, we're talking about video game cutscenes, if any of us chose that, but movies are obviously still on the board. We've done something similar to this when we did just our favorite movie scene in the past, and so I hope you guys enjoyed that. But with this episode, we are going to be broadening it up. Anyone want to start with
I
theirs?
want to go first.
Oh,
Of course, the Cody.
you know what? I'm going to go first. No, I'm just kidding.
Just so you get it out of the way.
All right, so the Cody is going first. Go ahead. Take it away.
Any of you fuckers seen Peaky Blinders?
I love that show.
I've just seen like clips of it.
A few episodes because my wife watches it. That's it.
Well, she's got good taste. Where the hell have you been?
Well, yeah, she's got good taste.
We need
She's
her
better
on the
than me.
You're just
podcast.
sitting there watching sports ball.
Sports ball.
She watches sports ball with me.
But there's 3 seasons in where, okay, so Peaky Blinders is like right after World War One. You got the mobs in in London starting to take over and whatnot. People coming back from war. 3 seasons in, guy takes care, guy takes control of the London gang and gets in trouble with the Russians. Is it at this point?
It's the Russians, and I think it's the Russians later
No,
because
it's the Russians because they're simultaneously trying to steal from the Russians or some shit.
um
I don't remember, but it comes to a confrontation between Tommy and Alfie Solomons, to where Tommy's boy's been kidnapped and used against him, so he'll do certain shit. And Tommy and Alfie have been, like, I don't want to say friends, but allies.
kind of rivals.
Rival allies.
Yeah.
Where, like, they're using each other.
Rallies.
That's how I like to use
Rise.
my allies.
And then Tommy finds out that Alfie's been kind of like in on the know, or so he suspects, and he confronts him in this warehouse, and it is like the peak of acting, in my opinion, between Cillian Murphy and my boy Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy is amazing.
Insane.
Tom Hardy can play anything.
He really
Yeah,
is badass.
he's playing basically a bear Jew right now.
He's the bear Jew.
He's like 5'7".
You old bear Jew.
But this
we all had the same reaction.
That almost sounds like a racial slur.
the benefit of Peaky Blinders and the quality of this show is that they really don't hold their actors back and they unleash them. They really let the quality of their performances come through, and they let the writing work, and they let the acting work, and they keep the scenes, like the scene design, the setting design is also really good in this show as well. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, it's indicative of good directing
yeah.
and show running.
But you put Cillian Murphy up against Tom Hardy in an acting scene, and you put them barrel to barrel against each other, trying to just.
Tom Hardy's BA too.
Tom Hardy is amazing.
He's so good.
Mm-hmm. He's like a bro.
He is. Good the man.
But Cillian Murphy, his son being kidnapped, and Tom Hardy's character, the involvement he has, that really. This was the climax of this
Have
scene.
an involvement for. He kind of
Bluffs it.
He bluffs it. He's like, they're using my boy. And he's like, yeah, I knew. And then they go at it or whatever. And it's like, I basically just wanted to see what you would do if I said I knew.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's like, I don't know. But it's the paramount of acting to me is like this scene between these two actors.
Yeah. Because, I mean, even after the scene's done, you know, the mutual respect between the characters just carries into future seasons, and they just... It's fantastic. We got it pulled up right now. I'm just captivated. I'm just locked in.
I could fucking voice act this scene. I've seen it so many times.
The Peaky Blinders is probably up there with one of the greatest shows ever.
Yeah, I would say so. I really liked it. I fell off. I never watched the 6th season. Is the last one, I think.
Well, they had the wrong villain. You had the nephew. Is that who Michael is to Tommy? Who is Michael to Tommy? Is that his nephew? Is that his cousin? Aunt Paul's child would make it his cousin.
Right, it would be his cousin then.
So they have the wrong villain for season 6. Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
We're just talking about you should install hooks from
We
the
could just have
ceiling
them
and
hang
just
up
hang the mics straight
Oh, that's
down.
an idea.
Let's
That's
talk
actually a
about
really good idea.
production quality after.
Yeah, or before, either or.
He asked. I'm just
No, it's all
giving
good.
out answers.
It's all
Taylor
good.
just had a great
Hey
idea.
man,
It's
low
fine.
effort. That's what we're about.
Welcome to Third Party Studios.
Welcome
what?
to us.
Minimum effort,
Making
minimal
it easy
views.
so you can drink your beer and have the mic in front of you at the same time. That's the best. All right.
Quiz, yours kind of confused me a little. So I'm gonna. Can you run with yours next?
Totally forgot what his even was for a second there.
Oh, come on. This is
I remember now.
so fucking hilarious. It's like the typical Avengers. They're in doing this thing to save the world, and they fuck it up because of something stupid and comical.
So just for clarification's sake, for people who are just listening, it's Avengers Endgame. It's the scene where they're going back in time to take they're
Tesseract
gathering all of
and
the Infinity Stones.
and
Fucking
Loki's
time
spear.
travel.
Yep, they're trying to get Loki's spear and the Tesseract in New York.
Yep.
We need more time
Back in
travel.
2012, and
Correct all your mistakes.
everything's going great. Everything's going according to plan. They got the spear. They're collecting the Tesseract by giving Tony Stark a little minor heart condition thing with his
Arc?
chess piece.
Yeah, Sark
And
reactor.
it's
His
like, oh,
reactor.
okay, like just super simple. Everything's going according to plan. Tony Stark gets the Tesseract from him. He's just going, oh, I just need to exit the stairway to the left. All right. What happens? Hulk bursts through just so many stairs, just mad as all hell.
Is that why he burst through? He's like he's fucking sick of the stairs.
He's
exactly
so sick
that.
of the fucking stairs. Stark Tower, having to go down all the
I
stairs
mean,
in
I could
Stark
see
Tower.
myself doing that, just kicking open the door and be like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Knocks over Tony from the future, and fucking the Tesseract goes flying, and fucking Loki ends
Loki
up picking
grabs
it
it,
up and
yeah.
just disappearing with the Tesseract.
Honestly,
Totally leads into the whole Loki series that they do based off of this moment right here. Like, just
I think
could see
this
it on
scene,
film,
I think
but-
this scene is genuinely brought down. I think honestly, a lot of what you see when they go back in time, you see all of these dark actors in the background. You have Hydra
Yep.
involved in this scene. I think that brings the scene's quality down tremendously because you don't need to show all of this like, oh, look what you missed as an audience because we weren't showing you it. You didn't need that in this scene. You could have had them literally just walking around bullshitting and just making jokes or just talking about shawarma. And the involvement of Hydra is what you didn't need in this scene. I think the confrontation in the lobby was overplayed, and the fact that all of these super adrenaline pumped, just got out of a huge fight, super on edge, and they're getting confronted with bureaucratical nonsense when Tony Stark literally his character doesn't have the patience for that. And he all of a sudden, like, you have S.H.I.E.L.D. playing hardball with him over the Tesseract, and I'm like, that wouldn't go down like that. You just have them fly away or just push past these no-name grunts who are trying to take the super square.
Yeah.
The Super Square.
Super square.
The
That's what we're
Tesseract,
calling
yeah.
it from now on.
The Tesseract, yeah.
It is the most even of squares.
I have plenty of gripes with Marvel. However, and I'm not saying in a grander scheme Endgame isn't good. I actually genuinely loved Endgame, but
Have you rewatched it lately?
I have.
It doesn't,
but them
to me,
going-
it doesn't hold up as much as it.
It's not supposed to. It's a theater experience. It was the culmination of 10 years of cinema that hit a moment. You're not supposed to feel it the same way the second way
Infinity
you
War
the
is
second way
better.
you watch it.
Yeah.
Infinity War has hold value.
That thing holds. That
Yep.
movie's still bomb.
But-
Endgame's still really good.
I'll still rave about Cap, Thor, and Iron Man going against Thanos at the end of
That was
Endgame.
amazing. That was great.
It's
Yep.
still
Oh
really
yeah.
I
That is
think
good.
I think that there were I think that when they were
Thanos
making
is
this movie, because
badass.
everyone's got to remember it was a 3-hour plus movie.
Oh yeah.
They put so much in it
Was
that
it?
did not need to be there.
Oh, for
They
sure.
didn't need the confrontation in the lobby with Hydra. They just wanted to
They
show
didn't
you
need a
something.
woman power.
They
But
didn't
they
need
had
the
to-
woman power.
That had to
was
be
terrible.
the they fucked it up point where it's like, oh, we fucked it up, and that led to them having to we only have PIM particles to get back to
Yep.
there. Now we have to figure out how do we get the Tesseract
Yeah.
and the PIM particles, and then it brought in Tony's dad,
Tony's
which was
father.
another really good
as a
heart-wrenching
backseat
moment.
as a backseat driver, as a backseat writer director to this movie, what I would have preferred is if both Tonys had bumped into each other and been like, and they just
We know what's going on.
they figured it out. Show the intelligence of Tony Stark, have them realize the issue, have them both pretend like they didn't see each other, and move on into the world with
That'd be
that.
cool.
I would have preferred something
Just a
simple.
little, like,
Shit.
like,
Time
shit.
travel.
They-
Time travel.
They,
yeah.
yeah,
Like
they
almost
kind of
like a
shuffle
double
around
take,
each
yeah,
other.
they go-
But if you did that, that would have
Awkwardly.
totally rewrote the Tony's reaction when they first brought time travel as a possibility to him.
That was after
His-
it.
These are different
But we got
timelines.
Oh, never mind.
multiverses.
I get what you're saying.
Because then
I
it
get what
would
you're
have
saying.
been.
It doesn't. It
'cause
doesn't
he was
do
very
that.
against trying to fix everything and be like, I got my family. He got lucky as hell after
Yeah.
all the
It
blip
doesn't
and
do that,
everything.
though.
I gotta figure out time travel.
And
on a
also,
whim.
same thing.
Sitting at his dinner
Both
table,
Captain
I was like,
Americas fought each other.
Oh yeah, that's America's ass.
Yep. So that's one thing. That's
Didn't he get
step
married to a
one.
13-year-old
The
recently?
second thing is that
Captain America's a weirdo.
the second thing is that they are in a different timeline. So it doesn't necessarily mean that Tony Stark is the one that's going to invent time travel.
Now
So
you're just convoluting stuff. I get what you're saying. You're both right in your own way, but or
No.
even if Tony Stark saw himself he wouldn't have to go through that process of thinking time travel is possible or not. He'd be like, oh, it is. I'm smart enough to realize I see Tony, which means he figured it out.
Yep.
Like, I'm smarter than that, Tony.
And so,
Or this Tony's smarter
Exactly.
than me.
so all of that, I'm not just shitting on the idea. It is a funny scene. It is honestly hilarious. Hulk is actually pretty damn funny in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, he's good.
Hulk is fucking hilarious.
He's ruined as a character as soon as they make Smart Hulk. He's just dead to me.
That
Yeah, I
was
didn't
a
like
big
that either.
mistake from Marvel.
Professor Hulk sucks ass.
He's terrible. He's the worst.
Because
I
it's
would
basically Mark Ruffalo being green.
show me Mephisto.
It really is.
I want to see Mephisto.
He was good.
That's who I want to see.
Mace,
He was good in that Thor movie. What was it called?
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
good
Yeah,
in that.
because it was
Fucking
basically a
awesome.
little tidbit of Planet Hulk.
Yeah. He's like fighting in that he's a gladiator and
Have you guys seen the She-Hulk?
it's good. I won't even subject myself to that.
Please don't
Thank
do
you.
it. Please don't do it.
Well,
Okay,
I did.
do it.
And at the,
I did. You didn't sound happy about that comment.
at the very end, they kind of, I don't know if you guys care about spoilers.
Just
She
send
becomes
it.
the most powerful character in the
No, not even close.
MCU
Uh,
by rewriting her own fucking story.
Oh,
Yuck.
you're not wrong. Yeah, I guess.
She
they-
goes into
they
the
basically-
writer's room.
They
Ew.
like just basically she's like, fuck this ending, like, and then just like goes through and goes into Marvel and like
Women can do
So she
anything.
pulls a Deadpool.
basically, yeah, she
'Cause that's
breaks
how-
the fourth wall, goes in and rewrites her story.
I
But then
hate
after
That's
that,
She-Hulk.
they bring up Hulk's had a kid apparently when he was on.
Oh yeah.
So he has a son all of a sudden
with,
that he is
um,
introduced. So I'm
Hell's his
really
name? Scar or
interested.
some shit?
Yeah.
Huh?
Scar.
Scar, yep.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see where they go with that. 'cause
They're
I
not gonna
think
go
that
anywhere
would
with
be, huh?
They're not gonna go anywhere with it.
They
I
lost
don't know. I
so
feel like
much
that would
money
be
on
fucking
She-Hulk.
hilarious if they
Aren't they
brought
making a
that in.
season 2?
God, I hope
No.
so.
Pretty sure they are.
I
You
hope
know,
so.
there's a
I
strike
haven't
going on
yet.
right now.
But
Yeah, but
Writer's
they,
strike.
they can write it with AI.
California's fucking bailing out the strike, by the way. That should have been the news segment.
It should have, but we didn't have time. Now we're in the war room.
Pissed.
Yeah, we can't go over that. We'll talk about that
Do
next
it
week.
Next week.
we still have 2 more scenes to go.
Slim,
through.
why don't you run with yours?
Dual Fates. I don't need to explain anything else.
No, you probably should.
Play a soundtrack.
The word
Yeah, just put the soundtrack in there. I don't care if we get demonetized.
the words "Duel of Fates" may not be enough to add context
Oh, it
to what you're
is.
talking about. Maybe just
That's when Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon have their
Epic shit.
the most epic fight ever. Yep. Yep. I liked
would
for
that
a
one
while
say?
because I watched like a breakdown.
Keep it going.
So it just shows like the relationship of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan when they're fighting together against this menace.
Oh,
Straight.
it's like the
yeah.
movie name.
Whoa, guys! I figured something out.
Could someone explain something about the Phantom Menace to me? Because in Phantom Menace, in the moment you're describing where they're doing the fight with Darth Maul, Obi-Wan is a Padawan. But as soon as at the end of the episode, he takes on Anakin to be a apprentice,
He becomes
his
a
own
Jedi
Padawan.
Knight,
He
and
becomes
then-
he
I
gets
thought-
promoted to a Jedi Knight because he killed the Sith Lord.
Right. I thought that masters had Padawans, not knights.
There's only a handful of masters.
Knights.
Yeah,
have
Knights are
Padawans.
funny.
Knights have Padawans. Okay,
And
I
then-
had that back. I had that
Because
inside out,
Qui-Gon's
upside down.
never
But he was-
master, is he?
He's a master.
Yeah, he's a
He
master.
was promoted to a knight
Oh, he's
just
not part
before
of the Jedi
this scene,
Council
though.
or whatever.
No, he gets promoted after. After he
no,
kills
'cause-
Maul, he gets promoted to a knight.
Qui-Gon Jinn
Qui-Gon
is a
was
master.
going to take on Anakin, and he said that no, like
No, he
Obi-Wan's
says-
ready. Like he
No.
doesn't need. I don't need to be.
I know this.
Oh,
He
you can't
is
have
about
two,
to
you can't have
take-
two
He's
Padawans.
about to take the Jedi Knight trials,
Okay.
Right.
and once he does the trials, he
Okay,
can then take
yeah,
a
that makes
Padawan
sense.
on.
That makes
But
sense.
since he killed Maul, he doesn't need to do the trials. They automatically give him a promotion.
But what-
I guess he's kind of BA, so.
But what Cody was saying is Qui-Gon Jinn is a master.
But
That
he
is
never.
true.
He's just a master.
He's just
that
not on the
never-
council.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
How could you
Because-
be a master and not be on the council?
No, that's
point.
flipped.
That's never been done in the history of the Jedi. So sad.
I want status, bitch.
I'm gonna kill some children. I'm gonna kill some. So mad.
They rejected me from the Senate,
Give it
therefore I went
5
and killed a bunch
hours.
of kids.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So that's mine. It's a good fight scene. It's awesome. Okay.
I have to say it is.
I will
is
say
it
it's the
out of
best
all
fight
Star Wars?
scene. Yeah, I was
In
just
Star Wars,
gonna say that.
probably.
It's the best in all
Are
Star
you-
Wars.
Can you clarify your question? Are you asking if it's the best movie or if it's
No,
the best fight scene?
in Star Wars.
I think it's unarguably the best fight scene. I think the closest candle you could hold to it was Obi-Wan and Anakin's fight.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh
thinking,
yeah,
too.
that's
But I don't
really
think
good.
that's better.
Nah, yeah, you're
I
right.
think it might be.
I think this one's better.
Yeah, this one.
This one
one's
is
definitely
way better.
better.
Well, you're constantly talking about how it's like the epitome of editing.
The directing,
yeah.
the directing of the Phantom Menace holds a special place in my heart. I need to caveat this by saying, anytime I watch this movie, I literally, and I'm literally skip 1/2 hour of this movie every time I rewatch it.
Wait, you don't like the pod racing?
I hate the pod
yeah.
racing.
Now
I
this
love
is
the pod racing
racing.
scene.
The pod racing is terrible. So when you're saying that, the
scene.
dual fates, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon,
Yeah,
and
play that
Darth
game.
Maul are fighting,
Pod
keep
racing
in
game?
mind
Like,
one thing that
time
makes
at
this scene
someone's
so
house.
powerful.
I can't remember after though.
One thing that makes this scene so powerful is that simultaneously you have
Two other
the
battles going
there's
on.
3 other battles going
Three
on.
other battles
There's
going on.
the Anakin in space.
There's the
Padme.
droids.
Yep. There's the droids and the Gungans. Then you have Padme and the palace.
Yep.
So you have 4 fights being run simultaneously, all of whom hit their climax at the same point.
it's actually-
and it all builds in the same way.
And it's
Wow.
it's not hard.
It's hard to have 2 people reach climax at the same
It's-
point.
Imagine 4. Yeah.
That's pretty good. And it's
Fucking magical.
It's not. It's easy to keep up with it too. It's
Now
you can't
that's a
really get
miracle.
lost.
That
And I think the reason that
magic
is, I kind of
moment.
thought about this too. When I was watching this movie about 3 weeks ago. I'm like, well, why? Usually, people complain about there's too much going on at the same time. Why they get lost in a scene? Well, one's in space, one's in a grass field, one's in a palace, and one's like in a factory.
Yeah.
The scenes different. Even if you're new to Star Wars and you're like, I don't know who these characters are or what's this, the scenes are so different. It's easy. You're like, oh, this is space. Oh, this is a grass field.
It's
oh,
the set design.
the set design
It's
really.
RDJ. I'm like, is that like late 50s Obi-Wan?
That'd be awesome. But actually, that's a good point, because if you look at current day Star Wars, set design is one of their biggest failures.
They
Because
don't have set design.
because
They all
of
look the same. Everything looks the same.
it's almost impossible to know where one thing is happening because all the cities look the same.
That's why I
and all the-
hated Andor. I didn't know where he was at all, ever. He always seemed like he was in a dark room.
Yeah.
Well, for the
dude, where
majority of
are
Star
you?
Wars show, they're always on Tatooine. It's like the most popular planet in the galaxy.
There's a lot happening on this
Even though
planet.
there's 2 billion.
Yeah, that one
planets
planet
in the
on the
galaxy,
outer rim.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Slim, anything to add about yours before we jump to mine?
No, I'm good.
All right. So
He's like, the scene speaks for itself.
I've broken. So in the previous episodes, I've talked about Attack on Titan before. In the last War Room, it was Cody's choice for best anime. I'll do a quick synopsis of the entire show real quick. So Attack on Titan takes place in
What'd you say it was? A bunch of amnesia ridden?
yeah, a bunch of amnesia-ridden retards hiding behind a fence while a bunch of giants eat them. It's
Oh,
fantastic.
Jack's here? What?
Attack on Titan takes place on an island called Paradis, where all of mankind has taken shelter behind 3 giant walls that protect them from monsters called the Titans, which are these humanoid giants who their only drive is to eat people. That's their only drive. They don't do it for survival. It's exclusively to devour people, and so they hide behind the walls. They hide safely behind the walls for about 100 years, and one day, a new breed of Titan called the Colossal Titan arrives. He is taller than the wall, and he actually kicks through it and destroys the wall for the first time in 100 years. Something did
How
damage to the
tall
wall.
is he, Jimmy?
50 meters.
Thank you.
That's a lot of feet.
Now, when
Knew
that
that
happens,
instantly.
so that's the first episode of the show. Humanity. So there are 3 walls, and
Name him.
The outer, the middle,
there's
the
oh my gosh,
close.
Cena, Rose, and Maria.
Yes.
No, Maria doesn't sound right.
Those sound like ship names.
I was gonna say that's like what they
Maria.
came over with
Well, Maria.
Yeah.
Maria.
Yep.
The Santa
Um,
Maria.
That's what I was thinking of.
So the survivors of that attack,
I'm gonna test your
Sure.
anime knowledge.
the survivors of that attack retreat behind the second wall, and the story fast forwards about 4 years to where the main characters have grown up. They've gone to their military training, so they've learned to fight Titans. And
What do they use to fight Titans, Jimmy?
ODM gear,
Thank you.
omnidirectional
Is this
mobility.
like Pacific Rim almost like.
It's not. I mean,
Get
there's
into a Jaeger and fucking go to battle.
The truth is that did you know that the word Jaeger, like Aaron Jaeger, is the name of the main character in the show, or did you just pull from?
I pulled
Pacific
that
Rim.
out of Pacific Rim.
So that's a
Rim's a
nice
good
little.
movie.
That's a nice little dot
Well,
to
it's kind of the
cross.
same thing.
You're welcome.
Monsters, isn't it?
So
I like that movie.
for the 100 years that humanity had been hiding behind the walls, and the 4 years ever since the Colossal Titan destroyed the wall, humanity has never won a significant fight against the Titans. They've been able to kill them, but they haven't been able to leave. There's too many of the Titans out, and they have nowhere to go. So they're trying to basically survive and escape. 4 years after the events of the first episode, the Colossal Titan reappears and tries to break the second wall. The main character, Aaron Yeager,
No, it's not Aaron Yeager.
Aaron Yeager.
It's Aaron Yeager.
That's how Japanese people say Aaron.
In case you were wondering.
So
You're such a
you discover
badass
that the
last
main character, Aaron Yeager, actually has the ability to turn into a Titan. He doesn't understand how he can use this power or how to do it properly. And so there's a lot of debate,
Kind
skepticism.
of like your first boner.
Yeah. There's a lot of debate and skepticism about whether or not using his
I get that.
ability could help
Just happens randomly.
close the wall. So the scene I'm pointing to is they're successful in using Aaron Yeager's Titan ability to seal the wall while all the Titans are coming inside of the walls and trying to basically eat people, and the military is just breaking apart and everything's going wrong. And this is the first measurable victory that humanity has had against the Titans in over 100 years, and you can hear it in the music that they play in the scene. You can see it in the illustration that they do. The design is perfect. The emotion that all the characters play, the voice acting is phenomenal. The timing is perfect. The background narration sets the scene proper. This moment in Attack on Titan is by far the greatest in the entire show, and in my opinion, one of the greatest scenes in anything. If you actually,
Arguable.
if you watch the, well, that's the point, isn't it?
Number 4, if you ask me.
Screw you. But if you watch
We
Attack
were
on,
supposed to save the best for last.
if you watch Attack on Titan and you get to, and you get through season 1 and you get to that episode and you don't
So
have a
you're
tear in
saying
your
all
eye,
these Titans are trying to impregnate this wall, and then Aaron Yeager comes in like the plan B and just blocks that shit.
well, no,
Sit
Weird
back to
take
work.
on it.
yeah, that's not how that went.
Well, you impregnate castles. That's what it's called. They're non-impregnable or whatever.
Impregnable.
And then you
So
impregnate them.
I'll just to set myself up for victory here.
My brain.
Cody's argument just a few weeks ago was that Attack on Titan is the greatest anime.
No one has watched 2 episodes in a row. You're fine.
That's fair.
I didn't even hear about this until
Yeah,
we
but it's
started
not even
talking
close
about
to
it.
the best
So
scene in the fucking show.
What would you put up against it? Because first off, you have a mountain to climb with this one if you're going to put up the best scene. Give me one scene that beats this one in Attack on Titan, you smart ass. Smarty
You
pants.
smart ass.
You
It's basically
you
when,
wise guy.
Him and Ryan are having that conversation underneath the
Underneath the building, the Declaration of War.
yeah.
Not-
And that shit breaks out.
Oh my gosh! Not
that
even
whole fight scene is just insanely cool.
I'm going with Cody.
you don't even know what you're talking about.
know.
You stand down.
I'm just more likable than you.
all right, we all vote for the Cody.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we'll let the audience
So that
decide.
automatically cancels out your scene, so I have 2 scenes in the running.
All right. So we've got
I think
some
we
really
can
good
agree
choices
Taylor
here.
Seeing wins.
So quit.
Oh no! When Sasha does, that's hard. That's a good
they had
scene.
they had the bubble tears. I am over it.
Yeah.
Bubble
I
tears
could go
suck.
on. Aaron putting on a coat. That's pretty badass.
That was iconic. It wasn't good. It's honestly more iconic than it sounds. It's actually a very important moment in the show.
Aaron's
Puts a
such a
coat on.
cool dude.
He literally just puts a coat on, but it's the most iconic moment in the show.
Slow mo in the sunset.
I
Let me
think
guess. There's got to be some dramatic music going on too.
Oh, it's
right?
important.
And a
Shit's
sun
going on
flare.
for sure.
he's very cold.
Very cold.
But actually, I would bet that moment in the show is actually plenty of people's wallpaper on their computer desktops.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh my!
Well, for one, the sunset's pretty.
It's pretty good.
Pretty.
All right, I
It's
think
not
we're gonna.
pretty.
I think we're gonna wrap up
pretty.
there. That concludes a full episode of the podcast and the War Room. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. If you
You're
liked the
welcome.
video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share us around on social media, let people know where we are, and come back to find us on future episodes. And we will wrap it up there. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
We'll play Starfield.
Peace.
Let's drink beer.
Like, I'm just getting through my day to play Starfield.
How far